I watched the film for the third time this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, it's honestly, who needs coffee?
It's a good breakfast
You know
film.
what I mean? Truly, my partner hadn't
Yeah.
seen it yet and just kind of like kept coming in and like chuckling. It was a really lovely morning. But I wanted to talk about what is more challenging, the wrestling scene or singing in this movie for both of you?
100% singing. If you watch the movie, it's pretty. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm struggling there. Really struggling. Yeah, that wasn't acting.
Singing, yeah, absolutely. And that doing the barbershop stuff is actually it's really, really difficult. That probably took the most amount of work, just getting all those harmonies together. Wrestling was a piece of cake.
It doesn't look like a piece of cake, but I know like singing can be so hard, and then also especially when you guys sing together in that scene. Like what I think is so interesting is everyone's talking about the nudity and the sex scenes and totally, but there's also an exposing yourself in this kind of that moment in a relationship where you allow yourself to look uncool to the person, that risk of being earnest. I'd love to talk to you guys about what it was like to live in those moments, especially for you, Harry, because your character spends a lot of time in those moments.
Yeah, he spends the majority of the movie in those sort of moments. I loved it. I love playing characters who are playing catch up with the world, with the story. You know, a lot of Colin's journey, I think, is him second guessing where he's at and trying to please Ray. And I found that a lot of fun to play with. I think you're right. It is quite, for some people, even talking to friends about it, it's quite an exposing place to put yourself in as an actor. But I kind of loved it.
And for you?
I quite enjoyed the day off. Because it's a spin on kind of like a rom-com trope, the montage sequence of the couple falling in love, but it happened like towards the third act as opposed to like end of first. And I thought it was an interesting. It was kind of important in that moment that Ray, he obviously knows that he can't sing, but it did come very natural to me. But he leans into it obviously in that moment because it's an area where Colin can excel and feel like he's teaching Ray something, or he's actually better at Ray at something, because so much of their relationship is like obviously Ray controlling and dominating and Colin learning from Ray. So that was a way for Ray to kind of give back a little or show like this is good for your development, or like for Colin to feel like it's actually this is something I'm pretty good at, and I can maybe not teach Ray something, but like it feels good to be good at something.
Well, I'm also curious because there's a lot of conversations around intimacy coordinators, and you guys do a lot of intimate scenes in this, but you've also done intimate scenes in past films. I'm curious for people who this is just a discussion they read about online, what is the difference for you when you're doing a scene like the ones in the film and you have an intimacy coordinator, or versus older films or TV shows you've done where that wasn't necessarily something?
For this one, Robbie, our intimacy coordinator, was he was kind of integral to the narrative in the storytelling. So it wasn't, for me at least, so much about making sure that I felt comfortable with the amount of nudity or with the intimacy with Harry. That came natural. Like I felt very early on that like this is a very safe environment. I felt creatively very safe with Harry Lighton, our director, the whole crew, and with Harry, and like so I never felt like I needed that support. It was more about having Robbie Taylor Hunt help us shape the scenes. Mm-hmm. They all the sex scenes are integral to the storytelling, integral to Harry's character's development. And Robbie was really good at these are all pivotal moments. Again, first blowjob, first orgasm, first sexual intercourse. And a lot happens in those scenes, even like in the orgy in the woods. There's like it's like a power play between these two Pillions, jealousy, and so there's a lot to pack into those sex scenes. And Robbie was terrific at helping us shape those scenes. And how do we tell this story the best way, where it's like sometimes very graphic, but also not gratuitous, or like it serves a purpose. So he was integral to that for sure.
Yeah. He was amazing. He was really amazing. I think what was so exciting about getting to those scenes when we shot them was just, like Alex said, just how much narrative was held in them. You know, they weren't
Absolutely.
just there to, you know, be a cheap thrill. It really sort of housed a lot of story, and so Robbie was just tremendous in shaping that and helping us mark those story beats. So yeah.
Yeah, it's an incredibly romantic film. I've been recommending it because, as you guys know, Heated Rivalry is huge. Everyone's talking about Heated Rivalry. Everyone's talking about what next. And I'm like, look, Pillion actually has a lot in common with Heated Rivalry. It's more kinky, but like a lot of the beats actually are similar. But I'm curious for you guys, because a big conversation that's come up around Heated Rivalry is kind of who gets to tell queer stories and who are they for? And I'm curious what your thought process is on that, because I know it's something you've come across a little bit in promoting the film.
Well, I haven't seen Heated Rivalry. In the UK, I think it's out, but so
You guys, I think maybe you just got it.
I think we've just got it. So
Yeah.
I'm actually don't know much about Heated Rivalry yet. Yeah. In terms of queer stories, who has the right to sort of to present those stories to the world? I'm a big believer in, you know, actors being actors. You know, I think that we're storytellers, and I think that you know, it's important to, if it's not something that is close to you, that you sort of investigate it and work out what it is, and try and understand how you connect with these stories. But I do believe that hopefully the industry is better when it's not strict and limited and rigid in terms of who can do what. I think having that freedom to play and freedom to understand different communities that you might not be so well aware of, or vice versa, is really important to the creative world.
And for you, Alex?
No, I agree, and I think I wouldn't have been drawn to this had Harry not consulted with people from the community. They were members of GBMCC, the Gay Biker Motorcycle Club, and a couple of guys from the London kink scene were very involved in when Harry was writing the screenplay and shaping it. And they're obviously, like the guys in the movie, are members of GBMCC or the London kink scene. And that was very important to me, because I wouldn't have been drawn to this had it been, because it's about a very specific subculture.
Sure.
It has to be done respectfully and with them involved. To me, that doesn't mean that everyone on set has to be part of that community. I think that limits us creatively a lot if we set the parameter there, you know. But again, it has to be done. What I think Harry did so well in the script is, like, it's done in a respectful way, but not, he's still able to have fun with it and show the awkwardness of these and the complexity of these individuals. Sometimes it's a bit, you put on the silk gloves when you tell stories about subcultures, and it gets a bit like, well, they're all fantastic. What I loved about this is, like, no, there's a complexity to them, and you see that hopefully in the film, and I thought that was very very important to tell it that way.
What is the first romantic movie you remember really feeling swooned by?
Tootsie.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that film. And that was my first crush, Jessica Lange in Tootsie. Ooh, baby.
Ooh, yeah.
It was yeah. I remember, like, as a kid watching, I was like, what is happening? I'm feeling these strange feelings. I want to keep watching her.
Pause.
Yeah.
What film that I mean, I love When Harry Met Sally. That's one of my all-time favorite rom-coms. I think it's exquisite on all fronts. So that one.